we're kind of in the home stretch, so I'm going to combine two more, and you know, well, clearly he's hiding now, but my son come up to me and he asked me if he could sit next to me, you know, so that was fine. And then he was very concerned about what kind of question he was going to ask. So he struggled on that a little bit, and then he wrote it down, and I'll finish with his question, but I will. Yeah, never met a stranger either. But last week I filed my taxes. And when it comes to taxes, everybody has an opinion. The guy paying the taxes always pays too much, and the county government never seems to have enough. So it's always difficult to find a balance. So a couple questions, and I'm going to combine two of them because there was a lot of questions in regards to Senate Bill 411, which I'm unfamiliar with. But Gene, good thing you're outnumbered 2-1. So I'd like you guys to address Senate Bill 411. I'd like you to kind of let us know what challenges you guys are seeing at the state level in regards to that. And then I'll finish it with Ethan's question, which was, how high can taxes get? There you go.
Do you guys want me to go? My husband said not always to jump up first and let these guys go first, but Senate Bill 411. Well, first I'll start with Ethan's question. Taxes can go very high. If we look to other countries, some countries pay as much as 75% of their income into taxes. Yeah, that's a lot. That's way more than we pay. But I think we're at the 50% mark overall. So it's a lot. When you take in property, income, sales, all taxes, we do pay a lot in taxes. What Senate Bill 11 is, and part of the, like I said, I did run for fiscal. I think there's a lot of government waste. The Office of Information Systems Technology, that was a prime example. If we find the waste in government, we can get everybody's taxes down. And but Senate Bill 411 is not about that. It's more about what happens right now is we have county extensions throughout the state, and it's wonderful. I was in 4-H for over 10 years. I think it's a great, you know, what the extensions do with they provide a lot of information for us. A few years ago, and I forget what year exactly, the legislation was passed that the extensions, county extensions, can combine to form extension districts. And there's a few of them already in existence, and I know Miami County is, the commissioners have voted to consider combining with Lynn County to form an extension district. Well, once they do form that extension district, the board members are elected, and the extension district becomes a taxing authority. They can raise your property taxes. So what Senate Bill 411, the proposal is to take that back to the county commissioners. It doesn't stop the district from forming. It doesn't change any of the process or any of that. All it does is says that the extension district needs to go back to the county commissioners for the budget. And people ask, well, what if one county approves it and the other doesn't? Well, right now, the way these districts are, and I called a lady that's in one of these districts. She's been in it for years, and she had no idea that they are a taxing authority. So she's actually going to testify for the bill in support of it. But what this does is, when they create the taxing authority, it puts them on equal level. They're no longer a decision of the priorities for the county commissioners. They are a priority. So the roads and ambulance service, all that's important, that the commissioners must decide, the jail, all of that, where the commissioners must decide where to spend our money, the extension becomes on equal level because they can raise or lower the mill levy with equal say as the county commissioners. So all this bill does is puts it back to the commissioners. And what I started to say was, currently with these districts, the mill, if it does increase, it increases the same in both counties. So if the mill was to go up, Miami County would be paying in more than Lynn County. So the district would decide the budget accordingly. Well, the bill does the same thing in the sense, because they've asked how this would impact if one county agrees to a budget and another doesn't. Well, it would be the same thing, that one county's paying in more than the other possibly, just because of the mill increase. So hopefully the counties will work together. I'm sure that, the extensions have a good relation with our county commissioners, and I don't see that relationship changing. And all this would do, I had the opportunity to talk to one of your commissioners. I won't put them on the spot, but, we were talking about the fire district. It's a taxing authority also, but it has to go back to the county commissioners for a stamp of approval. And that's pretty much what we're looking for here, is that the county commissioners have the final say on where the mill levy is and what the taxes are. And they'll work with the extensions like they do now on their budget. So it just turns it back to the county commissioners being the taxing authority. And that's all the bill does, is removes the taxing authority from the districts. The districts are held harmless. They do exactly like they do now. So that's what the bill's about. And we have a hearing on it Tuesday. If anybody's interested to come up to Topeka, it should be an interesting meeting. It's at 9:30. So thanks.
I looked to make sure Pat wasn't coming up this time. So, tax policy obviously is very important. When the economy is growing, we can pay for the things that we're responsible to do. And I've been there enough years to tell you that we've had situations where we had to raise taxes to pay for our budget, and the economy still was struggling, and it was a tough few years. And now the economy's picking up. We are growing at 1,000 private sector jobs a month in our state. Things are turning around, and as a consequence, we are seeing revenues come up a little bit, and that's good for everybody. And it's what we need to have happen so that we can take care of our responsibilities. On Ethan's question, I see my son Jacob here. He's my oldest son. He's 27. All four of my kids understand dad tax. When they were little, if they had a cookie, I'd always take part of their cookie, and I'd say, "Well, that's dad tax." And we have a well-respected economist, Dr. Fensbaugh, that's from K-State, who explained tax policy. He assessed that tax policy, when you get to the place where someone escapes your tax or cheats, you're too high. That's pretty fundamental, and we've seen it through the years. Car taxes used to be too high. People would pull their car into their parking spot backwards so you didn't see their Arizona tag. Then we saw it with RVs, watercraft, but it's the same way with in-migration or out-migration of taxpayers. Our income tax rates were too high, and we were seeing an out-migration of taxpayers. A key category are the taxpayers that basically have wealth that pay more income tax. And in that category, we were losing to every surrounding state till this year. And that's great news that our policies are keeping people home, but also bringing residents here that want to live in Kansas, other than, as Pat said, we're still getting beat by Colorado, and I don't know if that's the mountains or just what. I hope it in their new laws. So, but anyway, is this our closing? Or so? Well, thank you for coming out today. Next week is a turnaround, which I brought my bills that. Yesterday we worked 12 bills on the House floor. The day before, about a half dozen. We'll work probably 40 bills or 50 next week. And and turnarounds when a bill has to be out of the House of Origin, and then we'll start working Senate bills the next week. But you would think turnaround would be, by the calendar, it's like halftime, but we're really not like football. It isn't halftime. We're more like baseball. You don't know how many innings you're playing, so we don't know. And typically at turnaround, we've not done half of our work, and in part because we have a committee process. Everything has to be must be heard, and that's the right thing to do. It's right to have public comments, input. We should always, I try to remember who I work for, and it's you. You know, when I vote on all the things that we do, it's you that I'm working for. But thank you for coming out today.